This is such a special place. You drive through the streets of Green Bay, no tall buildings, quaint houses, and then boom, right there in the middle of the neighborhood is iconic Lambeau Field. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Chicago Bears and the Green Bay Packers.
Albert Rosa set to kick off.
With fall around the corner, football is back, America, and we're underway on EA Sports. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. For the former Buckeye, J.K. Dobbins. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27.
Tackled at the 27.
2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
2 brings up 2nd and 8.
56 from Mark, boy, 56.
From the shotgun, it's Prescott. That'll be caught by his tight end, Ian Thomas. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. Good job there to locate his tight end, Charles, in the middle of the field.
Yeah, he has good pass-catching abilities, and if they're able to continue to find him here in the early going, I think it'll help out his teammates out on the perimeter. You can take the big shots later if he occupies their attention.
Pushing forward for 3 up to the 48.
Dobbins, the ball carrier.
But from an offensive perspective, that was a tough run because he only picked up 3 yards. Well, let's flip it over to the defensive side. They now have the advantage. 3 3-yard gains, that means they're punting the ball likely on 4th down. That's what you're looking for when you're playing defense.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Prescott from the gun. Incomplete. Juju Smith-Schuster, the intended receiver. But now it'll be 3rd down.
They certainly did a nice job improvising there, extending the play, hoping someone would come open downfield, but they never did.
They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down. Prescott. That's going to be caught. It's Jacoby Myers. And this won't be enough. A good secure tackle, and they stop him a few yards shy at the 46.
Well, we hear so often how tackling has become almost a lost art in the NFL game. But it's so important to tackle well on these receivers, especially in a play like this one. 3rd down, they gave him the underneath stuff. You got to go and make the tackle right away.
And on their first drive, the offense staying out there. They're going to go for it on 4th. They run. It's Johnson. And he will have 1st down yardage as he's brought down at the 41. A solid pickup of 5 and a very solid 4th down conversion. And defensively, pure frustration. Prescott off play action. Escaping the pressure right. And that's going to be incomplete.
They've given up a few 1st downs on this drive, but getting the incompletion there, that should give them something to build on and maybe turn the tide.
Here now is 2nd and 10, again from the 41. Looking to throw. Prescott. Flush to his right. His throw incomplete. Not that time for Watkins. And it'll bring up 3rd down.
Well, they've got man coverage on the outside, and my scouting report on these DBs tells me that they love to take matters in their own hands. They want man coverage, not zone. And there was good coverage there that forced the incompletion.
Eighth play of this opening drive coming up. This is 3rd down. Prescott now. And he's going to go down. Back near midfield at the 49. Chandler Jones able to get him down for a loss of 11. And it brings up 4th down. On is the punter Scott here as he gets this one away. That'll go as a punt of 34 yards that time. And it'll be Packer football here. 1st down and 10.
At their own 16-yard line.
So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10. Now Mariota. This one complete to Mecole Hardman. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. 17 yards on the catch and run. It's a 1st down. Just the first quarter, but tackling going to be so important going forward. They've got to limit plays like that.
And that's something when you see it happen early in the game and they don't get him on the ground, you can always tell that they were concerned about it going in. Because I can just tell you, from my days, I remember being in college and worrying all off-season about our season-open opponent, and they had a receiver that could shake and bake with the best of them. I tackled him on the first pass of the game, and the relief was incredible. Ended up having a pretty decent ball game. But if I had missed him, it would have been a long night.
Add the gain here to the previous play, and it's better than 40 yards total. That opening drive rhythm continues right into play number 3.
Whatever they decided that they wanted to run before the game, it's working pretty well for them right now. Moving the ball downfield at a nice rate. And guess what? I think the chain crew might have to get a little oxygen over there. They have to keep moving downfield with 1st downs on each play.
Here's a 1st down throw that's complete. A good rally to the football keeps him to only a yard, and it's 2nd down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
That's a game.
I don't think it's a surprise they're throwing the football early. We expected that. They told us they were going to come out firing, but 4 for 4 on the opening drive. They like that.
They don't just like it, they love it, because now everyone gets locked in. Your confidence jumps up.
And he will get this into the end zone. Touchdown, Green Bay. A 16-yard touchdown. And the Packers have taken the early lead. An ideal start for them, really. You force the punt, and then you go down and score.
And you've got to see a fist pump on the sideline from the head coach, don't you? Because he's turned into his bench, and he's telling his team, this is how we prepare. Force the punt, go downfield and score. I told you guys, it's just like a boxer in the gym, preparing for the fight. Now we get turning it all loose.
set to kick off.
Now after the touchdown, here's Rosas on to kick it away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback.
25-yard line.
The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. They were forced to punt on their initial drive of the new season. Now they're ready to go as they begin again with a 1st and 10. Here's Prescott. Eluding the pressure right. That'll be complete to Dobbins. And all the way down to the 26. A big play there on the catch and run. 49 yards. So now then, the big play has them all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. On 1st and 10, it's Dobbins. And flags come in as he gets forward for about 3 yards. Now let's check on the call. That time the right guard sending him backwards.
And so many different types of guys rotate in on the defensive line now depending on situations. You can get the bulky guy, the fast guy. No matter what, though, you can't hold him.
They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. To throw is Prescott. Flushed out right. And his throw is incomplete. J.K. Dobbins, the one he was looking for. And now it's 2nd down.
That was an interesting look there because as soon as he got outside the pocket, I thought he was going to take off and run for yardage. But what often happens now with these quarterbacks who can move, defenses want to try and keep bodies in front of them. And I think that discouraged him from taking off and made him try a pass downfield that fell incomplete.
It's a loss of 10 yards on the play. And it's going to be 3rd down and forever.
47-yard line.
And again, it's Prescott. He's going to go for a big play downfield. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off inside the 5. And not much on the return there. He'll take it only up to the 9-yard line. What a start defensively. Your offense goes out, gets the touchdown, and then you get the interception. Just perfect.
How about the discipline that they showed on defense? Because after the offense scored to go up 7-zip, you would think they might be a little extra aggressive trying to get back at them. Instead, they read their keys well. When they took the shot downfield, they were more than prepared for that one.
And a short pickup here as he'll get across the 10 to the 11-yard line. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
The pickup. It's 2nd and 8 at the 11-yard line.
From the shotgun, it's Mariota. That's caught by the big tight end, O.J. Howard. And they're able to bring him down at the 20. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a 1st down.
1st and 10 at the 20-yard line.
And he goes nowhere. He'll lose yardage back at the 17. But despite the completion, they're going to wind up losing 3 there. 2nd down.
This defense has really flown around in the first half. They've gotten to the ball carrier before they can really get started. Offense got to come up with something else in order to try and get this running game going.
forced out to his left. And seeing nowhere to throw, he chucks this one away from harm. Incomplete. Now it's third down.
Well, I like that right there. Not only was it the right play, throwing it away like that, frankly, I think it was the only play.
Yeah, got outside of the pocket, realized he had nothing, just chucked it free.
Yeah, live to fight another down, right?
Open man is Ross, complete. And he'll have this past the 30 prior to going out of bounds. First catch of the new season for him, and he picks up the first.
First and 10 at the 31-yard line.
From the shotgun, a give to Elliott. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 10 more there and another first down.
Coming in, he really liked his chance of having a big year based on a terrific offseason. And runs like that on opening weekend show that he's right.
Now a throw here to his running back. It's another 10 yards on that one and another first down.
Just about every quarterback is trained to really look downfield first before you come back and make a nice, safe throw. And in this case, that's exactly what he did. Found his running back, let him create some space, and it turned out to be a nice play for the offense.
And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's third down.
He did a fine job there of not hitting him before the ball arrived, and I've got to tell you, you can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get it, sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now. Instead, in this case, you timed it perfectly and knocked it free.
The drive stays alive, a third down gain of 8. So after a good run by Zeke, another first and 10. Working out of the gun, Mariota. Looking for his running back, and he's got him. And he's taken down inside the 30. It's a gain of 12, and the Packers have the first. 2 minutes on the clock, second quarter, 7-0 ball game. We remind you that coming up at the half, we'll hand things off to Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have scores from earlier today, plus a look ahead as well, so you won't want to miss that. Touchdown, Packers! Mecole Hardman, 29 yards. And the Packers add on to their lead. And, partner, they found a gap there on the post pattern, and it was in the middle third of the field.
And that's really difficult to do because ordinarily the safeties are back there to prevent that happening. But they found the opening and exploited it.
Rosas good with the extra point, and that'll make the score 14-0. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. And they're in an early hole. The first drive, they threw the interception. That led to a touchdown, so decent-sized deficit early on.
It is, but I think you hit the key words, early on. So they have to decide, do we even need to change game plan, or do we just need to execute better and try and get back in this game?
And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there. 3 yards the gain there, second down.
Second and 7. At the 28-yard line.
56,
Now Prescott. He's going to loft it deep right sideline. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee. So the big play gets him across midfield now for first and 10. Now Prescott. And it's hauled in by Jared Cook. And he gets it down to the 32. A good down to possibly take a shot. And, in fact, they'll come up with an empty backfield on second and inches.
At the 32-yard line.
56, Mike, 56, right there, 56.
Prescott There goes a deep ball, end zone. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long way out there, but it'll be third down.
There is something to a game plan with trying to keep a defense honest. With a guy with that type of speed, you do so. Send him deep. Try and throw some air under it and hope you connect downfield. On that play, they were unsuccessful.
An incomplete pass on second down leads us to 3rd and inches. Prescott yet again, escaping the pressure right. Green Bay up to the task there in coverage and forcing a 4th down.
Has to be a little bit of frustration there. Back-to-back incompletions. Receivers blanketed on both attempts, this time on 3rd down.
So they'll pass on what would have been a 49-yard field goal attempt, and they're going for it on 4th down. They'll throw again. Prescott. And my goodness, this is incomplete. Boy, it looked like he had it and dropped it. And the Packers D comes up with a big stop. Well, down 2 touchdowns already. I guess they felt they needed to go for it, but still early, still first half.
I think conventional wisdom says, look, as you point out, you got a whole half to play. Hang in there. Don't give up any more points in this situation. Do a little adjusting at the half and come out ready to go. But sometimes those coaches can just sense their team. Maybe they're a little flat or they need a little extra inspiration. He decided to go for it there to try and kickstart things.
And he finally is out of bounds, but he's down inside the 20-yard line. Well, as a lineman, they are trained. You've got to stay close to home. If you're more than a yard downfield, they're going to toss that flag, and they did there. From the gun, Mariota. Fuller brings it in over the middle. The Packers going to use one of their timeouts, as it'll come with 15 seconds to play in the first half.
1st and 10 at the 44-yard line.
Took just one play to move all the way to the 44 as they try again on 1st down. Now Mariota. Throw left side complete. It's Elliott. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. A 14-yard gain there as they look to improve this 14-point lead. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. Here's Mariota. He'll let one go deep for Howard. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked by Ronnie Harrison. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half.
At their own 2-yard line.
The white flag coming out as they line up to kneel on it.
56 for Mark, boy. 56. Check 56. Let's go, team.
Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. And they line up now for what will likely be the last play of the first half. The drive will commence with a run by J.K. Dobbins. And he'll just push his way forward for a few as the clock will run. So we have reached halftime here in the Thursday night opener as we send you down to Orlando where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach. We'll see if week one fatigue becomes any kind of a factor as we are back underway in the second half. And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25.
Take over 1st and 10 at their own 24-yard line.
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. And the interception last time on the opponent's side of the field, certainly not what they wanted.
Put it mildly, that is so frustrating because that signifies there's a drive going on. You're in a good spot, great place to run some of your best offense, Instead, they turn the ball over.
Yeah, turned the ball over last time. See if they can avoid doing it here. On 1st and 10, here's Mariota. That's caught by Howard. There he goes, left side. Touchdown, Packers. O.J. Howard, 57 yards. And the Packers are able to stretch that lead out further. When they drew that up, I don't think they envisioned it ending in a house call, but he got it and took it all the way home.
Really impressive run after the catch, wasn't it? That was really special by him. But let's face it, in today's NFL, those tight ends are often former wide receivers or maybe even sometimes bigger running backs. They just put them in a position to get a great matchup and make plays like that.
PAT up and good by Rosas. And it's now 21-0.
Rosas set to kick off.
Now after the touchdown, here's Rosas on to kick it away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. And their halftime hole now even deeper, and they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger, but no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing and try and get back to where you were to start the half.
2nd and 12 at the 23-yard line.
The opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. Another run here with Dobbins. And he'll go down right at the 30-yard line. 8 yards on the run, and that cuts this down to a 3rd and about 5.
On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on 3rd down.
That'll set them back with a loss of 3 on the play. And it'll be 4th down. Here's J.K. Scott now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. Here's Hardman to return. A 40-yard punt, give him 3 on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over.
1st and 10 at their own 33-yard line.
About set to get this drive started, the Green Bay offense at the line. They have picked up right where they left off in half number 1, just looking really dominant, extending this lead.
And it's fun to see when teams actually do that, because so many times you go into the half after playing well, and you kind of relax a little bit. We've got this. We can kind of punch the button whenever we get good and ready. But for a team to keep the intensity and keep the execution up and come back after the half and play so well, that's actually really, really nice to see.
And a pedal to the metal. That's what we're seeing right now. Now the offensive penalty has us back where we started as they come up on a 1st and 10. They go to Elliott again. And very little running room there. He did get a couple up to the 49.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground. But I think the play gets made by the defensive front, because if they can't get upfield, Their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole. Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain, considering the blitz that they just had against them.
Mariota now. Completes it to Hardman. It's a gain of 12, and the Packers have the first.
And while we may be looking at the scoreboard, this offense certainly is not, because they're showing no signs of backing down, even with a 3-score lead here in the third quarter. I think they keep taking their shots. They've seen blown leads happen throughout this league. They don't want to fall victim to it themselves.
And he won't get much. Maybe a couple. Down inside the 35 to the 34.
Yards on the pickup. It's 2nd and 8 at the 34-yard line.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Again, it's Elliott. And he's going to take this down close to a first down at about the Bears' 26. Good work to pick up 7 yards there. That gets him into a 3rd and 1 situation.
Brings up 3rd and 1.
10th carry now for Elliott. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. Give him 10 there. Good enough for a Packer first down.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here, because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
Back now at Lambeau. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4. A first down carry by Elliott. And he will get this into the end zone. Touchdown, Green Bay. A 16-yard touchdown run. And the Packers add 6 to their lead. I think all teams probably like seeing that schedule for the first time, looking at week 1. Oh, good, we're at home. This is why you want to be home in week 1. They're looking sharp.
And I agree with you totally. That's what you want. But there carries a little extra pressure with that as well, because you and I both know protecting the home field, winning your home games is paramount in this league. So you go into it, yeah, we want it, but now you actually have to go out and prove it.
And 2 sides to that coin, and looking like they're going to protect it here in this one.
1st and 10 at their own 23-yard line.
At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. And they knew coming in that this would be a tough place to go in and win a season opener. But this has just been a performance, to be frank, not to be proud of here as they trail big in this 4th quarter. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Now, Brandon, that's the way you want to run the football. There should almost be quote bubbles above the offense right now. Bam, boom, biff. That's how they feel good about moving the football.
You got nothing. 56. Mike, 56. Right there, 56.
They'll go again with Dobbins. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go down as a 2-yard loss, and it brings up a 3rd down. This linebacking core, they've done a good job of keeping that running game in check, haven't they?
They certainly have, and what they'll also do when this game is over is thank the guys up front, the big defensive line, because they've kept them clean, so to speak. Not letting blockers get to them, allowing them to run to the football and keep that running game bottled up.
The Bears on 3rd down. A pretty woeful 0 for 5 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6. Now Dobbins. And he's going to be brought down short of the first at about the 31-yard line. 4 yards on the pickup there, but it's going to take him to 4th down.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
Here's J.K. Scott now as he's on to punt for Chicago. Hardman on the return. A 46-yard punt, 4-yard return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10.
At their own 24-yard line.
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. And this is really the start to the season that you're hoping for if you're a coach or a player. They've got the big lead here in the fourth quarter, and now can really take some time off the clock. 16 yards right off the bat and a first down.
Something to watch here in week 1 of the season, tackling. Because you and I both know that in the preseason, a lot of these guys don't play a whole lot. Plus, the intensity and the speed really ratchets up on opening week.
They keep on the ground with Elliott. The tackle will be credited to Jake Ryan.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. They'll try and run some clock now with Elliott. And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage.
Brought down.
No gain on the play, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down.
No gain on the play. Brings up 3rd down and 7.
On 3rd down, Elliott. And he'll get this up near midfield, but that's still a few yards shy of the first down. It's a gain of 5, but it'll lead to a 4th down. This late in the game, Charles, I think you maybe seriously have to think about going for it.
Especially where they are in terms of field position, because this is almost like no man's land. Might hurt your punter because there might not be enough space, maybe too far for your field goal kicker. I'm like the old rule. Possession is 9/10 of the law. Possession is 9/10 of winning the game. Go for it. Get the first down. Close it out.
And now a high kick trying to pin him back. Just 21 yards on the punt there. And we have reached the 2-minute warning.
At their own 27-yard line.
The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And okay, all right, I'm being facetious here, but you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. They'll keep it on the ground. Dobbins, and he'll slip his way up across the 30 to the 32. And the trend continues here in the 4th like it was in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. He's had nowhere to run.
And you're probably thinking to yourself, why do they keep feeding him the football? Well, they trust him first and foremost. They do believe that over time he might actually pop one of these runs. But bottom line is he takes care of the ball well for them, so they'll keep handing it to him.
On 3rd down, here's Dobbins. 3rd and medium, they opted to run instead of pass, and it worked. First down.
Yeah, they really needed to get something going, didn't they? They had punted on the last 2 possessions. The running game starting to come to the front for them, providing a nice pickup there to keep this drive going.
On 1st down, Dobbins. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. Seems pretty obvious defensively a key was stopping the run game. How have they done it so successfully?
To me, it seems that these guys really did a nice job of paying attention during the scouting report meeting. And you know, Brandon, when they do those, they talk about the top plays that these guys like to run. The best runs for the top running back. Those are the ones you focus on and want to take away, and they've done that pretty successfully in this game.
tonight's final score.
Well, my friend, for the players, it's good for them to get that first game under their belts. For you and I, that first Thursday night game, also good for us to get that under our belts, wasn't it?
It was no longer preseason. We were into the regular season, the first game of the year. And, you know, all eyes were watching this when everyone was excited that football was back.
And it's just special. You could just feel it. It's so good to have the pigskin back out there. It'll be crisp fall weather before we know it.
You got that right, but I love the build-up to it, right? All day long anticipating it, and then we got here and we saw a game, the first game of the year. Let's keep going.
So for Green Bay, they begin the new campaign with a victory here in front of the home crowd in the Thursday opener. And they'll have another home date next week as the Detroit Lions come to town. Meanwhile, for the Bears, they go down to defeat here in the opener. And they'll be off to Minneapolis next week for a look at new U.S. Bank Stadium and a date with the